Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 51 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings and Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddy slash co-host, Thomas and Justin. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first timer just testing the waters, we are all siblings in cardboard. Guys, I know we didn't necessarily meet up to talk last week, but we met up in person. How has everybody been since that wild weekend? And that wild ride?
The past 2 weeks in Flesh and Blood, and man, I like think about skipping the one episode constantly and just regret it, because the past 2 weeks have been some of the most influential 2 weeks in Flesh and Blood history, right? It's just it's just been crazy.
They took my books.
They took your books. Those books are burned.
They make me feel alive, and I no longer feel alive. But it's okay. I had a great time. I had a great time in Tampa.
Only Brute allowed to draw 2 cards.
It's okay. So. But Tampa was incredible. Rosetta has felt incredible so far, both in a limited format as well as the constructed testing that's been going on, and I could not be happier right
Tampa
now.
was hot. It could have been cooler. I like thrive
Tampa's
in the
very
heat.
warm. Insanely warm.
Man, 93 degrees, I'm okay until it's like 70%, 80% relative humidity, and then like I'm not okay anymore. Like that was rough. Man,
it was jarring going from like outside to walking in the doors, or vice versa. Like you're inside the convention hall, and then you left at like 6 p.m. or whatever to go get dinner, and it just smacks you in the face. And you're like, oh, that's right, we're in Florida.
Yeah, it was supposed to rain all weekend, but instead it was just really down.
It barely rained at all, and it just did like lightning storms everywhere. It was good.
Man, I had such a great time. I wish I would have done better in the calling, and I think I could have constructed my deck better. I played Aurora in the calling. I won't say I should have played Florian. I only had 4 decomposed cards, and people who have gotten their hands on these cards before, or they got to play at the World Premiere, you will know that usually 5 is where you need to be. 4, and they were not good, it is scary.
I debuted with 4.
If they're 4 good ones, you could be fine, right? Mine were bad. It was like a yellow blossoming decay and a blue blossoming decay were 2 of them.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, the blue one's a tough one. I had a we'll get to the calling and all that later. But yeah, it's an awesome time.
The World Premiere was sweet. Like I wish my Florian deck that I had at World Premiere, I wish I could just play that at calling. That World Premiere deck was crazy. Like
I would have been 8-0 day one if I had my day one, or if I had my World Premiere deck.
Every single game I had at least one turn of make 4 rune chance, throw rune jab, make 6 more rune chance, throw sword, and stuff like that. Like
I had 28 points of life gain and germinate.
Like I want to talk about cards
we'll
like
talk
that.
About that. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah,
another cool thing that happened is I got to see, like, I was there for the first Will of Arcana fable that got opened.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I was like, the guy was in my line of sight, and I watched him lose his mind.
I was like 2 down from the guy who opened up the Rosetta Thorn on Friday night.
Oh, dude,
and that thing is a beaut.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about how LSS thought nobody was going to open one the entire weekend.
I think 2 got opened.
Did two actually get open the entire weekend? That's pretty cool. Very rare though.
Okay.
Well, people were opening product. Gosh, like everyone was spending all of their tickets on boxes. LSS actually ran out of product.
Did they actually on Sunday?
Yeah, they were out.
Mission accomplished. They did it.
So, yeah. It was in the 11th hour of Sunday as well. So
I got me a box too. Don't worry.
I don't even know. We literally bought a box and opened it up. We did pack one, pick ones the whole car right back. It was awesome.
Pack one, pick ones in this set must be fun. There's a lot of good cards.
Dude, it's so fun. We had a great time talking about pack one, pick ones the whole way back.
I mean, the best card I think in limited is probably Germinate. That's the king of pack one, pick ones at the moment.
Yeah, we'll talk about the actual sealed format eventually. Okay. We'll get there when we get there.
I bet I know the card market is popping off, because if you have you looked at Dietetic Carapace? Like, holy
oh no, I haven't.
To the moon.
I'm staring at the price differential report right now, looking at it, thinking about all the dietics I have, going, Man, this is a great day. this is better than I've ever expected to get a return off that card.
It went from like $24 to like $90
in rainbow foil.
Yes.
Have I ever told you the story about how I got my carapace?
No.
So I bought like a case or a half case, or I went halfsies on a case with somebody on Dusk Till Dawn. And I was like opening the packs. I'm like, whatever. And I was like trying to like clean it all up. And my wife, literally, who doesn't pay attention to cards or anything like that, she was just like, is this supposed to be heavy? Like kind of heavy in comparison. I was like, oh no, that means I missed it. You can open it, go for it. And she's the one who opened like with the pack that we were going to throw away an EA cold foil carapace.
Which I bet didn't have as dramatic of a price increase as RF, but I bet it still went up.
Oh, absolutely. I bet it had to have.
It's usually the RFs that are more volatile, right? Because everyone buys them up, and it's clearly going to be in every single Runeblade deck. And Vincent is definitely playable now. I think Viscerai is probably playable. You got Florian and Aurora, so like that's 4 heroes that are suddenly in the playable pool, and they're all going to use this legendary along with Grasp of the Arknight, along with Creepers. So man, these legendaries are probably popping off. Are they, Noah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, there's dude. The market's crazy. I wouldn't even know like where to begin. We're gonna speed through them. I think you guys need to kind of go look at them yourselves. I'm not gonna do the thing where I read the cards. So.
Yeah.
I think most of these are pretty well known. If they're not, they're like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and especially one we're gonna talk about. So you're just gonna have to read it. But let's just put some S in the metaphorical chat for Balance of Justice, which is down to $76 now. It tanked. Not surprising, considering that books are gone.
R.I.P. Bozo. Get it out of here.
And Art of War.
Creepers. God.
Oh yeah, I know. I saw your face. We're getting to Creepers. We're getting to, dude. I'm telling you.
Do I need to pull this up? I don't usually pull these up on pods. Let me pull this up.
It's not even Christmas, and I might as well be celebrating over here. The amount of Diadex I got for like the low makes me feel disgusted.
Oh man,
like, it's great.
Did the same thing happen to Grasp?
Grasp was up to 86 or 88. It kind of fell back down again. I was watching it. So not as much of a dramatic, but we're gonna bust through them all.
Doubling in price is pretty dramatic.
Spellbound Creepers, just so everybody's aware, is now a $200 cold foil and a $180 bought out rainbow foil. That's it. They're $180 right now a piece on TCG Player. Grasp is sitting at 86. Oh no, it was a lightly played. It still is 86. My bad. $86 for Grasp. It's through the moon. Warmongers going up because people are planning on assaulting these rune blades with the Warmongers diplomacy. Not, some rune blades are going to have a problem with it. So Warmongers is going to be on the rise. I suggest you get a playset.
Ooh,
man, like I mean, like you can't pick a card and
WTR Tunic. It's shot up too.
That.
Yep, because I think Vincent and Viscerai are definitely running Tunic. Wait, I think all the Rune Blades are running Tunic.
Probably some kind of.
They're not.
No, we can get to there eventually, but no.
Oh, I guess Ironweave is really good in Viscerai, but I think
also the new chess piece is messed up.
Vincent definitely runs Tunic.
Yeah, Vincent's running Tunic. Viscerai may or may not run Tunic. Aurora is probably running Tunic. She may or may not, though.
It allows you to get that like those 1-for-5s out more consistently if you're running those at all.
But she does some heinous stuff. She might just be running Ironweave for it.
I keep interrupting because these keep shocking me.
Yeah,
these
keep going.
It's fine. I know it's crazy. I mean, Swarming Gloomville, it's up. It's $17 a card. It's on the rise. This one's kind of strange. I know it's really good, but just kind of weird. Stonewall Gauntlet is up to $42. Did you ever think that was going to happen?
Dude, I think that was like $8 at one point, wasn't it? Maybe 11?
Dyadic is up to $80 as a rainbow foil, which I think is another one of the absolute crazy, the crazy ones. Man, Stormstriders is 123. Mask of Momentum is my sneaky pick. I will be buying Mask of Momentums in mass.
Did something happen with Ninja?
Maybe.
I'm set. I'm like, I am the
Quite
happiest
possibly.
I've ever been for Flesh and Blood, because I've been waiting for this for a while. There's one of these past recordings. You can go back and pull it. I was waiting for this. Like, she's perfect. I can't wait. Okay.
I'm so sad. I'm gonna be in Japan and I'm leaving the Wednesday before Worlds.
Dude,
I already scheduled all my flights and everything before Worlds was announced.
You gotta find somebody over there to smuggle me back one of the Japanese cars. You gotta. One of those packs. I'm gonna have to buy one.
Just to give context, since you're being like really obscure, like we're talking about Adult Ira that got announced right in the
No way!
of the World
Adult Ira got announced?
No
what?
way! That's crazy.
So I hope you guys are ready for Command and Conquer for 7. Because they did not change your hero power at all. It's gonna be you're gonna get like a 0 for 4 go again or a 0 for 3 go again. And then they're gonna swing the sword and they're gonna go Command and Conquer for 7. I get to draw a card to Arsenal because of Mask Momentum.
I'm just so excited. I cannot wait for Adult Ira. It might be like, I don't know. This is amazing. This is an amazing time to play Flesh and Blood. I think people are speculating with Surgeon Aether Titan and Verdant, so the Marvel's going up through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not speculation. That is.
It's good. It's just good.
It's so good. So that was a day one. I didn't want to talk about that one, but that one's so good.
Mm-hmm. It's the closest thing you're going to get to like the effectiveness of Kraken's Aether Vein outside of Living Legend.
Arcanite Skullcap in all forms is going up, thanks to Arcanite Fortress. I think people are just trying to get their hands on it for the eventual full set. Weirdly enough, the extended art for Dyadic Carapace hasn't gone up as much as you'd think. It's at $125 or $120 right now for the cold foil. Still pretty good. Still pretty good than where it was down in the 80s. Poison the Well, trending back up towards $10 a card. That's right. Don't sleep on the well. I've been telling you guys about this well for so long.
Gonna be good though.
Oh, there's life gain. It's
Protogram.
gotta be good.
But it's just the next time.
It's an instant speed.
Yeah,
so they go gain life and you response.
So
it resolves backwards. Your poison goes off, then they gain life, then they lose life.
But couldn't you like they
respond?
You play Fertile
you can
Ground,
respond with a life,
and they play Poison the Well. You let Poison the Well resolve, and then you just discard a gain 2 life, so you lose 2 life, and then you gain your 5.
You could do that. You could respond to the play of Poison the Well with another effect, only lose 2, and then gain the 5, netting 3. It's still something.
We love our blue do nothings.
Hold on, let me read Poison the Well again. I got a don't question.
It's pretty good.
If you ever gotcha somebody with losing 5 life when they expected to gain 5 life, that's pretty strong.
Oh, this doesn't trigger. It makes that fruits not trigger verdants either. That's annoying.
What do you mean it makes the fruits?
Because the next time they would gain life,
yeah, they lose that much instead. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a 1 card 5. If it's stopping a fruits, it's still okay.
It's a 1 card. It's a 1 card 11 if it stops the gain 5 life.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good.
That feels pretty good to me. So these last ones might blow your mind just slightly. Tome of Imperial Flame is the last surviving book, and it is going back up because it's the last surviving book. Now, not that much, but that card's been dead in the water, and it's going up. It's $22 right now, and it was like $15.
Man, it's so too bad that Ovia Dust didn't make 5 more playable.
Oh my god! You know,
my conspiracy. Go, you first.
This is a rebranding of Dromai that's coming down the road. There's absolutely no way that they keep printing these cards. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a limited amount of dragons, and the whole point is that they're going to need to be sticky. And the way they make them sticky is you can't just pop the dragon, so they're all going to have dust that'll go with them that maybe will give them some kind of a benefit other than just the phantasm. I think there's going to be some kind of a hero power or weapon centric thing where you're allowed to like attach the dust for free or whatever to the card, and like the dragon maybe gets like an extra life or attack or something, but like to make them sticky, but not as wide but taller.
I'm thinking that the way you make Dromai, a new Dromai, be different and still work is that she interacts with dust cards that are in her deck. Yes, I agree with that.
Or some other new mechanic they make. But yeah, like, to me, this screams that they're just prepping for the next Dromai, and that there's like, 12 regions in Wraith or whatever they have to print dust for?
We need another Uprising. It's coming.
Do we?
Yeah, we need another Uprising.
Not that format.
It'll come out in a little bit, though. And it'll give some support to Ninja right around the new Ira time. It'll be good. So Tome of Imperial Flame, and then guess what? Battering Bolt. Through the roof right now. That card is, by the way. Through the roof.
That's interesting. Why?
Yeah, you're telling me it's almost $20 a card. There's only 2 up there for 16, and it jumps to 25. People will buy them up like hotcakes.
Oh, there's one on here for 10. I think I might buy it.
Right. Is just somebody just put one up for 10?
Yeah.
They sure did. I'd buy it.
I might.
Why?
Because Battering Bolt strips the hand of everything but actions, right?
No. Yeah.
Defense reactions.
Yes. So it gets rid of reactions. It gets rid of instants. It gets rid of resource
attack
cards.
actions. Or no, not attack actions.
Do people just hate Acilio and
this card is pretty good against Accilia.
Dude, everything's good against Accilia.
I know, that's his downside. Well. It's like every disruption affects him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Like those are the craziest ones that have went up. There's going to be fluctuations all over the place. I know that I say that's it as if it was like the smallest list, but guys, Runeblade stuff's going up. Dyadic's a must. It's a wizard Runeblade arcane format. You better have 3 Warmongers. If you don't have Spellbound Creepers, you need to get a pair. You need to get a pair of Grasps. Stormstriders included. Like just think of the cards. And I will be speculating on Massive Momentum. There's absolutely no way it does not double back up to where it was when Ira comes out, because it's going to be absolutely impossible to stop that without giving away like metric amounts of cards. That's
definitely going to be her, unless they print something else. It's going to be her preferred headpiece, because she's not a combo deck. She's not going to run Mopple.
No, she's not
linking anybody.
You're trying to get 1 or 2 draws a game off Mask of Momentum and using the value, that incredible value you get from her hero power to just outvalue your opponent.
I love those types of game plans. And Zephyr Needle's going up, so if you want cold foils, you better get them, because Ira likes Zephyr Needles. She does. Why not?
It goes up to 3.
Yeah. Yes.
So you open up with some cheap pack that has Go Again, then you throw a Zephyr Needle, and then you could.
Oh, dude,
you got to sink below the Zephyr Needle to get rid of it.
Oh, that feels so good. Way to protect your Zephyr Needle. So Zephyr Needle Kodachi will probably be back. Most people are running Zephyr in the reverse. It's gone up the most, which I'm gonna pull mine off the market. Wait for Ira.
Most of them people run it in reverse. Okay, that is true. The left-facing one is more expensive than the right-facing one.
I'm not joking either. Most people want Kodachi main reverse needle offhand. Don't ask me why. I know the nuances sense, right? As well.
Kodachi for 1, needle for 3. It's actually really strong. It's really strong.
That's annoying. I don't like that.
I just cannot tell you how elated I am for this. I couldn't be happier. But that's all I got for the market minute. I don't want to like spend too much time, but in terms of Tampa Bay, just I had like the most wonderful time. Shout out to Tampa Bay Airport. I think it's one of the simplest, most nicest, like easiest to traverse airport I've ever been to in my life. I wish if I went to Atlanta Airport, it looked like Tampa Bay. It's super small.
I love the plane train.
It was. They have a plane train in Tampa. It's just not as like. Dude, it was great. I mean, granted, I was there like 4:35 in the morning and there was nobody there, but it was
that helps.
It was just great. Even when I landed there, bags, all that, it was cool. The whole weekend was amazing. I got to see a lot of people. Shout out to Charles, who came up and said he liked the podcast. Thank you so much, dude. It's always great to meet people in person. I was playing a lot of sealed events, pretty much a lot of side events. I was going to leave for the calling on Sunday, so I didn't play the calling in case I got it. I played the full box event. I played tons of sealed, lots of Florian. A gentleman I played in the full box sealed who destroyed me from Black Moon Games in New Hampshire, of all places. Really swell dude, name's Mark. Beat me, then said nobody should leave empty-handed, gave me a dice.
Whoa, hold up. Your audio went on the fritz.
What did he hand you?
Okay, so he gave me a dice that they made from the actual store. So I got like a cool little souvenir dice. He made me split the tickets. He didn't want anybody to leave empty-handed, so like we do the prize tickets. And then he let me take home this cool little old him pin that I'll be giving to you next time I see you, Mr. Justin, because I know you're an old him player. So he let me pick them all, and it's pretty cool. Oh, it's upside down. He's smashing his hammer that way down, but
that's so cute. I love it.
So super cool guy. I mean, again, it's one of those things where like the Flesh and Blood community, I know people say it time and time again. I mean, even Lucas said it when he won the calling. It's just a great community. I mean, everybody's super nice, friendly. It's over the top. It's good times. And Tampa Bay was truly a unique experience. And I think they need to continue doing the reveals like this, because those initial oohs, ahs, and screams when like people were opening the cards for the first time and like seeing all the extended arts and legendaries was amazing. It was truly electrifying. People were literally like so elated. They didn't care what was going on. And then I got to buy all the super cool stuff. And I did buy an EA of the Runeblade headpiece instantaneously. As soon as I saw the art, I said, I don't even care if I play it. I said, just give me the card. So I am like,
it's a good card.
That art, by the way, if that's not a playmat, LSS, you're missing out.
I kind of wish I would have like splurged and got one too, because I want to play it now. I don't want to wait.
But we're going to talk about that card. That card is probably the most busted thing I've ever seen.
It's good.
It's Scowling good. Flesh bag, but up a notch for me. I like it. It feels good. We'll get there.
In the matchups, you play it in, it's better than Flesh bag, but it's not as ubiquitous as Flesh bag.
Yeah, Flesh bag you can almost run against everyone, but you don't necessarily run a Face Purgatory against everyone.
But
and
that card is full value. That card's very good.
It's really hard to get full value off Face Purgatory, because Face Purgatory usually want to use against like decks that want to like play big hands, and usually big hand decks come at you for 4 over and over again.
Like KO and Azalea and New and Enigma, and when they swing Mirror Guy and what? No, it's fine. It's a great card.
But you have to throw 6 block into it. You have to throw 6 to 7 block into it to get it to proc.
Yeah, against a lot of the.
It is really good against KO. It's really good against KO.
And Azalea and the Mirror Guy turn, because they try to go like Mirror Guy and then Disruption to make your hand smaller.
Oh, yeah.
So instead, now you get to do like the block draw card, and they have to discard the Disruption they were going to throw at you.
Yeah.
And now you get to hit them back with 4 cards.
Yeah, that's actually sweet. I didn't even think about that play line.
Yeah. Like, we're too ninja pilled right now because we're so used to ninjas. Like, that card's crazy. That card is crazy. Like, that card is actually crazy.
Okay, man, for anyone who ever gets a chance to go to any of these events where they have like lots of product, you should go. The world premiere was great, and definitely if you do go, play in team sealed. Find you 2 buddies and play in the team sealed.
You have to.
Those events
it's a unique experience.
So much fun. Both like at Pro Tour, the most fun I had was part the Misspell team sealed. And at Nationals, and then at the world premiere, the most fun I had the whole weekend was the Rosetta team sealed.
I'm so sad I didn't get to do team sealed.
It's really fun.
That looked fun.
Play with my buddy Emma. He had the most busted Florian deck ever. I played with my buddy Jeff. He had a really strong Aurora deck, and they carried me because my first 3 rounds, I lost every round on Verdance.
Let's go.
Yeah, just did not get a win. And then finally faced off against Chris, our buddy local Chris.
Oh, local Chris.
Yeah, and 2 more. And we said, let's split, but play anyway. And I got my 1 win versus Chris.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. So do we want to get into how we all did? How'd our weekends go? Or how do we want to do this? Do we want to talk about like how to do all in the format? Because I have thoughts.
I think we should talk about Sealed coming up because the pre-release is this weekend. And
it is.
I went 4-3, but I think I have a good idea of what a good sealed pool is because I crushed World Premiere. I in general crushed my side events. I think my sealed pool, I learned a lot going 4-3, and I could have probably made a better Aurora deck. I got to look at it again, but as we learned, only 1 Aurora got to day 2, right?
Yeah.
Probably one of the weaker characters in sealed.
Yeah, I just did the math real quick in my head. I went 14-2 in sealed across all the events.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I don't know. Like I'm a Runeblade and Wizard player. Like this set clicked. Like shocker. This is how I felt and vibed with it well. But yeah, like I feel like there's some definitive things that you're really looking for in sealed.
I think we could kind of say resoundingly, Florian is in general the most powerful hero in sealed. Just like if you take a dozen card pools, 2 dozen card pools, in general, you're going to build a better Florian deck out of an average 8 packs than you are your other decks.
I think he's definitely the easier one to build. I mean, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just Earth cards that were like gravitating towards me, but I feel like I had the full suite of Earth and Runeblade equipment every time, and I barely had the Lightning equipment ever. Like, I think I saw Twinkle Toes in my like full box set once. Not that the gear really like makes or breaks it, but having the extra like 2 prevent on the boots is
it makes or
breaks
breaks
it. Is that not a big part of it? Like if you look at the gear suite for Earth, especially Earth Runeblade, like all 4 pieces are absolute bang on value. Like,
yeah, I think the things that Earth has going for it is that its floor is the highest. It has the better equipment, well grounded, is so good. The hat is like sneaky good because it's an Earth card, so you can just block with it, and then now like your decompose is all in a turn sooner. Like if you only had 1 Earth card in the graveyard, like you could do stuff like that. It's so good. If you have both of those, you should really be looking at going Earth. With 8 packs, you just open enough cards to where your floor on an Earth deck is really high.
Yep.
Where the floor on a Lightning deck is how many red cards did you open? Is it less than 8? Now you really have to think like if you have less than like 7 red Lightning cards, you're gonna have a rough time in sealed.
You're just so prone to fatigue, right? Because the only way you're gonna get through fatigue is by making those breakpoints.
Yeah, it's also you can't win the mirrors and all that kind of stuff. I played Vor in the calling. He was on a Cilio. He had the best strategy. Like on turn 2, I realized what his game plan was, and I said, "Oh no, I might be in trouble." But we did end up getting there. He just like he was playing a Cilio, and his whole game plan was to either not attack at all, do arcane damage, or have his big pop off turn. And he was pitch stacking.
Interesting.
And that like. And I think if you're going to try to play a Lightning hero in sealed, that has to be your game plan, is that you're either stranding the Earth heroes with cards in hand, because most of the Earth heroes, especially Verdance, their hands don't scale well. You need to have your big pop-off turn, or you're just like Arsenal passing, like block down Arsenal pass kind of thing.
So how do you prevent fatiguing if they're throwing like Cadaverous Tilling for 8? Right, as soon as you put 3 cards in front of that, you're behind 2 cards.
Right, so you have to accept the fact that on for example, that exact play happened in my game against Vor. It was I went Tilling for 7 because it was a yellow one, and he just blocked it with 3 cards. Arsenaled, I think it was like a yellow Lightning Surge, and then the next turn I hit him. Like the most I could do was like a strong yield, discard fruit, swing sword,
which is still pretty good.
But yeah, like. which is like for an Earth deck, like that's crazy hand scaling. Like I actually like did the thing really, really well. He sat up straight, said no blocks, and dealt 17 to me.
Okay.
And then it was like, and then suddenly I was like, oh no, we suddenly have a game.
Yeah, because he's like Lightning Surge, Fry, Volzar, zap you for like 7.
Yeah, and then it was like high voltage, go get, and then it was like high voltage into etchings, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll do it. That was pretty good.
Man,
so
speaking of things that you need though, like etching, that card's crazy and limited.
Yeah, if you're gonna play a wizard, you really want to be looking at etchings and perennial aether blooms. I think are the 2 best ones. Going into the event, I thought it was going to be the go again ones. Turns out I was wrong. You kind of just end on your arcane spells unless you're verdants. There are some weird lines that you take where you just like go arcane with like trailblazing and or aether quickening.
Trailblazing into blossoming decay is not terrible either, right?
Exactly. Like you have good play lines there. But yeah, Florian just does his floor is the highest because the Runeblade pool is really, really good and robust, I think is probably the best way to put it, because the wizard pool is pretty good, but it's very redundant.
Yeah, it's all zaps. So
yeah,
almost all the cards do the same thing, especially if they don't have any additional amp on them to get the surge value. And then even then, it's clear that some of these cards were made for Classic Constructed, right?
Oh yeah.
Some of the surges aren't like terribly like useful. So how useful is drawing 2 cards in this format? A lot of times, it's 1 card is good enough, right?
Yeah. So that's actually the pitch stack combo. Is you pitch a flash, you pitch whatever that card is called. It's not Chorus, it's the other one. Explode the Aether Well. Explode the Aether Well, I think is the name of it.
Is it one of the ones you discard and get amp?
No, it's the one that you draw 2 with.
Yeah,
you search. Yeah, that thing. You draw your 2 go again cards, you do the thing, and then you Volzar something else, and that's like part of your pitch stack kill people plan. And I was like, oh, that's how you do that.
That's cool. I didn't think about like trying to use that with Flash. I completely underrated Flash as part of like potential game plans. Seems strong as Acilio.
Yeah, it's a good Acilio card. It's a card that like, and especially as draft, if you see like a red or yellow Flash still up, that's like a very good signpost that Acilio's open. But yeah, I don't know, like in sealed, because we're talking about sealed right now. Yeah, like Earth is just like has the highest floor, and if you don't open up a bunch of red lightning cards, you don't really get to play lightning.
So let's say that what are the Runeblade cards you're looking for to like really make you want to play Florian? I feel like I think like if you don't have 1 Rune Ranger Swarm or 2, like you can really struggle to effectively use your Malefics or close out games.
I don't know. No, you played a lot of Florian. What cards did you like?
So for Florian, I felt that I mean, I guess it's just a given for a lot of the Earth heroes, but having like red Rootbound, obviously the D-React was like an automatic add. In some cases, I think yellow was still okay just due to the decompose. It depends on what your offensive decomposes. Red Cadaver Stealing, yellow Cadaver Stealing were automatic includes. If you were happy to get, if you got Felling the Crown, you throw that in. Plow Under was literally MVP. Most people didn't even know what it did. I didn't even know what it did until I did it. But Plow Under literally robbed my opponent's arsenal. I played against an Acilio. It was really fun. He just kept looking at the arsenal. And I was just sitting there going, like, you're never keeping that, because I had Plow Under and I was going to decompose. And so I decomposed and I bottom decked his arsenal. And he was just like, that was my arcane damage. That's what he's waiting to clap back with. And it was really funny. So that's a
those are
big
Majestics.
Okay, yeah. Outside of that, the rune, the one that makes an aura, the aura that makes a rune chant, I think is a really good card.
Sigil of Deadwood.
Sigil of Deadwood.
Great card.
I think it's a card you don't want to block with. So in most cases, I block with some kind of an Autumn's Touch, not red, but usually like a yellow, because 3 for 6 isn't as good as 3 for 7. So you block with the yellow or something else. You keep 2 blues, and if your turn is literally play Sigil of Deadwood and swing for 4, like you don't feel too bad.
Nope.
You feel pretty good.
Because next turn you're going to swing for 4 again with a rune chant on it.
If you have the gloves to make a rune chant, I think red meet and greets are fantastic. They're great starters. So you pop the gloves, you pop a meet and greet. You pretty much say, hey, if this rune chant hits, this gets go again. So they have to start thinking, I have to stop the rune chant. I also have to stop the meet and greet because I don't want a rune chant on the back end. Arcane Cussing when you have the chess piece is absolutely busted, especially when Florian is turned on. Direwood Dirge is also disgusting with both of those cards when Florian is turned on. And I think Direwood Dirge is just good overall. I mean, you throw an aura, you throw an aura down,
flat good.
You don't necessarily want to keep the aura, or you don't really care about it. You just blow it up for 3 rune chance, and that kind of generates turns Rune Ranger Swarm on. 0 for 3 go against, which give Florian a little width on some of the turns. I had a lot of fun doing that. So those are some pretty good cards. What else? What was like the sneaky sort of just like that was crazy.
The momentum of Malefic Incantation.
Oh,
once you're online, that card is crazy. Like,
I didn't get too many in red or anything. I got, but the one time I got a red, it was amazing.
Yeah. So my calling deck, I didn't have a single Majestic. The only one I opened was a Channel Lightning Valley, and I had 3 red Lightning cards. So we didn't get to play Lightning, and I didn't get to play my Shiny Majestic. It was the only one in the pool. But I had Vantage Point, and I had Oath of the Arknight, and I had an Arcane Cussing, and I had a Deadwood Dirge. And I had the chess piece. So my whole entire game plan basically went around doing cussing, pop cussing with the chess piece, Oath of the Arknight, Vantage Point. That was my whole game plan. If I did that, I won the game.
Vantage Point is extremely powerful.
Yes.
It might be like one of the most critical cards to have in your deck build, and they're great at all colors, but mainly red and blue, obviously. Red's just got the more offensive power, but the blue, it's just so easy to pitch. You pitch it, you know exactly where it is in the stack. You pitch like any aura next to it, or just save your gloves, and then you just kill them with a 5 overpower at the end of the game.
Yes. I love that card. That card was so good. Oath of the Arknight is my secret. Like, it's just like the crazy glue card to me, because like, as I started playing more people, like for example, I'd play Verdances later in the tournament that were like trying to do the thing of strand me with cards in hands, make me use my hand inefficiently. They can use theirs efficiently, that kind of thing. Oath being a 2 cost just lets you hand scale, and just another big part of this format, if you are playing sealed and you're playing an Earth hero, is you need to pitch your red cards, like your good red cards. Like that, you cannot block with them. Red Autumn's Touch does not block 3. It blocks 0. You swing that card. That card's important to swing. And so, like, when people try to strand me with cards in hand, being able to pitch like red blue to an Oath of the Arknight to kind of set up my combos at the bottom of my deck was really, really big and very instrumental multiple times. Because there was multiple times I went like literal end game being like double cussing Dirge, swing sword for lethal. And they're like, wait, what?
And just to clarify, a lot of times you're doing this red-blue pitch. You'll like pitch red-blue to like play Oath the Arknight, then swing your sword for a very, very nice 7 damage +1 rune chant, and you've set up a pitch stack.
Yeah, exactly. So like even in Verdance, like you're pitching, you'll overpitch some of your good Earth cards, or you'll overpitch some of your good Wizard spells just to make sure that you have density still in the deck. Like you'll do Verdant shoot stuff because that card's annoying to deal with in sealed. It's not very good in constructed, but like in limited, holy crap, like the staff is annoying. And yeah, like I didn't play that much Verdance just because I really didn't have a Verdance pool ever. But playing against Verdance, like I can see how she wins games. It's very, very clear. Like, well, not very, very clear, but it's clear how her game plan works.
I think she's really fun, but the only time I think you have like good fun with her is when you're pitch stacking. So if you're doing her pitch stack, she's like, it's super fun because you're trying to evaluate like when you could take damage, because you know how much life gain you have in your deck and you can catch back up, and trying to build this nice pitch stack where you're going to do like these wombos with arcane and it, or you know, big life gain hits and so on. So
yeah,
but whenever I was just playing like basically aggro Verdance, it just felt like, man, I wish I was Florian.
Yeah, if you're Verdance, you want to go slow. And then I don't know, I've seen 2 good sealed Aurora decks, but I saw a lot of 5/3 Aurora decks, if that makes sense. Like,
yep, that's where I was at.
Yeah, like
so
like my winning in had 2 or 3 Auroras to the left and right of me, and every time Aurora's lost, it was just sad.
So Aurora, you have to make your opponent block. If you can get your opponent blocking, you're going to win, because you would think that this isn't true, but Aurora, once she gets the opponent blocking, is the fatigue deck, because the 1-for-2 go against sword is going to fatigue the bejesus out of your opponent. And then once you get your opponent to 1, it doesn't matter if you just got handfuls of blues. Like a blue fry is still getting a card out of your opponent's hand, and you just have to make them run out of cards, and you get the inevitable win by just throwing the sword for 1 over and over again, right?
Yep.
Yes.
She has an actual working weapon. I mean, Florian does too, but she has an
Reaper in limited is so good.
That card's wow.
Heart. My sealed deck didn't have, or my calling deck didn't have any Majestics, but what it did have was 2 red Harvest Seasons, and holy crap, I love that card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to put down a next turn? I'll gain that.
Gain 3 life next turn, swing for 4. 2 cards, classic 2 cards, 7.
Main deck, I had like, if you include Arcane Polarity in the main deck, which I had a red one of, I had like 16 or 12, like it was some crazy number of life gain. And when I played Wizards, I had 25 points of life gain. Like that deck was stupid.
Now, people might not know what Arcane Polarity is, because the card will kind of fly under the radar if you're just scanning through the spoiler list. It's a instant that says if you've been dealt arcane damage, you get to gain extra life off of its base.
Yes.
You gain 1 life base. In red, though, if you've been dealt arcane damage at that turn, you gain 4 life. This card is absolutely critical.
It is.
To have a good deck in some matchups, because you need that life gain is essentially like what? Covers up 4 rune chants, right? Covers up an entire arcane spell.
The 2 games that I lost, my opponents basically soul read me on having an Arcane Polarity and passed on arcane damage on that 1 turn. And it got stuck in my deck. I was like, are you kidding? I lost, but like the 2 games I lost, my Arcane Polarities were still in deck. They did not get cast.
In the world premiere, round 1, I played Mr. Willie Bradshaw, who's been on here before.
Wait, you played Will in round 1 world premiere?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, travel thousands of miles, go play a local. You just show up on Thursday.
Dude, he sat down.
People and you sit down across from Will.
I know. It was so good because I wanted my Arsenal Protector too, so I was super excited. They were handing out these cool Arsenal Protectors. It's here somewhere in my deck box or something like that. I had to fish it out. It looks super cool though. They did a great job on it. We ended up going down to fatigue. It was a great game.
You hit your mic again.
I did. Am I back? Okay.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
He puts me down. A dirge. He does like our double arcane cussing pop with a dirge. Oath of the Arc Knight swings the weapon, and so I think I was staring at either 12, 13, some kind of crazy amount, and 7. And the only reason I live is because I can give him my full. I'm a Florian. I can give him my full equipment, and I had 2 red arcane polarities, and so I had to stagger it perfectly, and I was life gaining, and I was prevent damage
so
up,
rude.
and like I lived through it. And the game ends up going literally to 1 life, and I think I kill him with a blue, either the one that says Hocus Pocus or Rune Ranger Swarm, one of the 2. That's it, because he just had a card that didn't block in hand. It literally went down to like no cards.
Blue Hocus Pocus is a good game closer. Like you throw it for 1, it steals a card and says next turn you're dead.
Yeah, no. Blue Hocus Pocus, good pitch value. So many good cards in blue, by the way, that are like fly under the and block 3s.
I was also really surprised at how absolutely critical effective use of Sanctuary of Aria is to winning games.
Yes,
and it's not the same. It's not the same in every matchup either, and I love that.
Some matchups you can just burn it on turn 0 and use it for filter. Other matchups you literally save it until you're going to die. Because you have to block out the Aether Bloom. If you don't block out the Aether Bloom, you lose.
So against the Wizards, if you're playing against a Wizard or you're in a Wizard mirror, you are holding it until you see every single card in their deck, and if any of them are in Surge or Amped Up Perennial Aether Bloom, you get rid of those, because one of the ways that a Wizard can win is by amping Aether Bloom and looping it, and that will eventually just kill you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You will die. And in sealed, it's possible to get like 3 or 4 of those jokers, and that is such an annoying loop to deal with. So you just save your sanctuary for those. Like, just don't even think about it. If you have well grounded, it doesn't matter that they get go again off the Trailblazing Aether. You just hold it. Like you just take your L, accept that fact, and hold it for just Perennial Aether Bloom.
Yep. The other one you could consider is Acilio. If he tries to bring in a big Etchings of Arcana, you could like really save yourself, because the value potential of Etchings of Arcana is crazy. Another good, if you ever soul read a Rune Blade and he like breaks his gloves and throws Rune Rager Swarm, you're like, sure, bust it, block the arcane. No, and then he's like, crap, now I can't like throw the meet and greet.
No, I don't even think that's a soul read. I just think that's correct, because I did that to 3 people, and every single time they looked at me confused.
Because the meet and greet is now offline. They're like, my turn sucks now.
Yeah, because the arm piece in Runeblade, which I never had all weekend, whatever, but is so critical to a lot of the game plan. So when they just break their arm piece, I'm like, okay, this, and it's not like presenting lethal. I'm like, okay, they're doing this for a reason. What's the reason? So, you know,
if an Aurora breaks her arm piece and doesn't like immediately play hit the high notes, she probably has a meet and greet somewhere. Yeah. If Florian breaks
consuming Volition.
If Florian breaks his arm piece and he doesn't have his hero power online, he probably has a meet and greet somewhere.
Yeah, or Consuming Volition. They're wanting to turn one of those two on. Or what's the other one? Arcane Spike. That card kind of sucks though.
Yeah, that's the one that goes from a 5 to a 7, I think, if they've taken damage.
Yeah, it's okay.
It does check retroactively though.
It checks retroactively and it blocks 3.
Yeah. That is true too.
People are too mean to that card.
I ran a blue one at one point, and it was online once, and it blocked a lot.
But that's what you want. Blue block 3s. I will say Blue block
3s that can present breakpoints.
Yes,
Runeblade has access to quite a few blue block 3s, where I think Lightning is not as many.
You have
block 3s.
You have Heaven's Claw.
There are no block 3s besides Heaven's Claw.
You got Heaven's Claw.
They're here for a good time, not a long time.
And that's about it.
I said that exact phrase to Matt Rogers when I sat down across from him, because he swung into me for like 12 at the calling, and I was like, no blocks. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. He's like, okay. And I clapped back for like 16.
Just Aurora things.
Dude, that was one of my best matches of the whole weekend. Was my match against Matt Rogers. It was a sweet match. Aurora Mirror.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't get too off topic. Let's go back to like successful strategies in sealed.
Swing your weapon a ton is Florian.
Are there any bombs?
Like, don't underestimate that.
Are there any bombs to pull you into Wizard?
Germinate.
Oh,
well, Germinate pulls you into Florian. If you open a Germinate, you're probably winning 4-0. You're not.
Can we talk about that card for a second?
Yes, that card should have been in the expansion slot.
Yes, that card should have been in the expansion slot. My World Premiere pool, I had a Germinate. I had 1 or 2 other good cards, but nothing like insane. But I realized about halfway through game 1 that I could just turn Florian online, wait until there are literally 5 cards left in my deck.
Yep.
Pitch. And if they can't kill me when I have the Germinate in my arsenal, which they don't because I'm, keeping my life high and all that kind of stuff, I pitch my whole hand to Germinate. You make 14 rune chance because Florian's online. You gain 7 life. And if you're in the late game, nobody is dealing 7 damage with their last hand. Full stop. Nobody is. Like, you have to counter pitch that. And so even if they do, I can block a bit. It's fine.
Yeah, because you just need enough to swing your weapon, whether it's online or not.
Yeah, so my floor then coming back is 14 rune chance and 2 physical. My ceiling, I had a 4 seasons in blue, which swings for 6.
Yeah. Oh my!
So literally, I was doing 14 and 6, and I won
for lethal off your blues.
Are you ready for my winning life totals? I won 20-0, 20-0, 13-0, 9-0. And it was not because I was more skilled. I had Germinate.
Yeah.
No, Germinate was gross.
Just to clarify, Germinate's the blue block 3, Florian specialization, double X in cost. Create either a rune chant or an embodiment of Earth repeat this process X times, gain X plus 1 life. It's crazy.
Like we realized,
and it makes
really
one,
like
even if you have nothing to pay into it, it makes 2 rune chance and gains a life.
Yeah, its floor is a 3 is great. But we realized we were like running seal pulls back that night, and we realized that I could have killed everybody on like turn 4 just because my deck was insane. But why do that? Because you have Germinate. Like, have a guaranteed win con. Why risk it?
No, I mean, you have full control of the game. Florian with Germinate literally has full control of the game to do whatever they want.
Are there any other cards that should have been pushed to the expansion slot? I think maybe not as bad, but still Verdance's specialization.
No, she needs that card.
Which one? Channel Millennium?
No.
Oh, Heartbeat?
No. Heartbeat of Candlehold.
Oh, that one. No, that one's fine. It's a strong
gain
card.
One,
but
gain one,
like...
gain one. A 1 card
ping 1,
6.
ping 1, ping 1.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think it's too strong. I think Germinate's the only like Germinate is like the Mara guy, right? Where it's like those two are on the same level.
So Germinate's the big offender, and everything else is probably okay.
Yeah, like Majestics are allowed to be powerful. I like that some of the Majestics you build your whole game plan around. And that's really cool to me, that like, oh, I opened this Majestic, let's make it work and let's make it do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's cool. Like, friend of the pod, Jeremy, he opened the game, however much life you gained, amp.
Rampant Growth.
Yeah, that card. He opened that card, and his whole entire game plan was basically to just like rampant growth people with a life ping to death. And it was a really cool deck.
Yeah, that is a cool deck. I think that card's definitely fine. It's harder to pull off than it seems.
And like I'm super okay with it. It's just Germinate is the one where it's like, that one's a little too good.
So if you're drafting and you see a Germinate, you're now a Florian player.
Yes.
Hopefully it wasn't pack 3. If it's pack 3, you probably just take it.
You hate pick it. You just hate pick it.
You can't let a Florian get it, or you're just gonna lose to it.
Yeah,
I will say
that's a hate draft.
I did 4 drafts total over the weekend, 3 drafts total, some number of drafts total over the weekend. And the draft format, it's so weird because your like perspective gets set by sealed being so powerful, where the draft format is so much weaker, and it's so much fun. I love this draft. This might be my favorite draft format. Like, I think this will go down as my favorite draft format so far, full stop, because I think every hero is playable. You can't get cut completely out, and that's what I love. So like, I picked a lightning card one time to start because red lightning cards are good. I very clearly got cut out of lightning. All right, cool. I'm able to slide into earth now, so that's open. And then I tried to draft like a rune blade card, and I got cut out of that, so we just became a wizard. And I was Verdance, and it was like, that's great.
Right, and I think that's the way that the set speaks to each other. Right, it's just earth cards, rune blade, wizard, and lightning. Yes. So it feels good that you get a lot of earth cards. You're like, oh, okay, so I got my options. You're like, oh, I'm not getting a lot of rune blade cards. Well, I guess you're a wizard, you know? So it feels a way, it like you get to like keep yourself open until you really have to make that final dive. I feel like this has to be a pretty open.
I think it's really interesting that it is that kind. There is that kind of openness option, considering that most packs have 1 to 2 generics in them.
Yes, 1. So your pack breakdown is either 2 elemental generic, 2 elemental, or it's 2 elemental, 2 elemental, or it is 2 elemental, 1 generic, and then 1 of the other elements. That's like your 3 options that you run into. And it's interesting because like, if you see certain elemental cards, like anything in red of either element, like that tells you, hey, that element's open. It doesn't matter which one it is. So it's like, it's really, really easy to read signals. Like my second draft, I got handed like a pick 6 or pick 7 red lightning surge. And
that's a good signal.
We snap took it, and we were lightning, and my Aurora deck was busted. Like, it was awesome. But it's also cool. Like, you can see like Lucas's like draft deck from that he won a calling with was not an earth deck. It was a rune blade deck.
Yeah, it was. I was very surprised watching him play his cards. I'm like, I haven't even seen it decompose.
Yeah, like you could just draft good stuff rune blade or good stuff wizard.
Yep.
And you could have great decks. It's impossible to get cut. like fully cut, unless you're just stubborn and you're forcing, and then that's on you for forcing.
There's also a lot of really good decision making in this set. I mean, I know there's probably a way where it feels like some of the decisions kind of made for you, but having access to the macro card, like timing
Yes.
on the reductions to stop surge effects, same thing with equipment that you may or may not have. But there's this sort of a value game within the game that's happening too. People counting to make sure they have enough cards. Are you being fatigued? Are you swinging your weapon enough to get value outside of those cards so you're not getting fatigued? Like, there's an actual skill expressive sort of back and forth that's happening. It does feel a little bad, at least in Sealed, to play Aurora into some of those more fatiguier matchups, the Earths, like Verdances and
I'm gonna say if a deck tried to fatigue me as Aurora, I won every deck that attempted to fatigue me.
The issue is she don't block you. You gotta kill her.
I want to attack. If you're gonna block, my sword is gonna outvalue your block.
Right, and I mean I was able to just, I mean, like, there's some pretty unfair things you can do with the Aurora when you set it up properly, like some really unfair strings.
I mean, 4/4/5 make an embodiment is just already pretty good and limited, and
that's
if you have
deck damage right there.
Yeah, like your opponent might feel incentivized because they've already blocked with 2 cards to go ahead and block with the other 2 on the 5, and you're ahead on deck damage. And then like 4/4/4 swing sword make embodiment is also like really crazy too, right? Because the sword is going to hit, and if they didn't block, I just think she is like the fatigue by damage hero, quote unquote. And I fatigued several of my opponents.
You get one of those red somersaults too. You're cooking.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. That was on my mind before.
You are
Electromagnetic Somersault is one of the coolest cards. One of the coolest cards. This is one of the coolest cards that they've printed in Flesh and Blood. Like it is just a really cool card. And if people don't understand how it works because it's new, and it is a little weird, the basic effect is it's a lightning instant that says that when the chain link resolves, return 2 attacks of X cost, depending on your color, back to your hand. So you look at it and think, oh, how do I bounce 2 cards off the attack chain? Because most people, when they first looked at Electromagnetic Somersault, they thought, get a card back so you can attack again with it. You could use it defensively. You could block with 2 attacks, then bounce the 2 attacks for your hand. And this Electromagnetic Somersault can represent a possible 1-card 6 block.
It's really, so fun.
Really strong.
I love this card.
So
and then,
versatile.
like, if you're short on starters or you're short on Go Again or whatever, you just play like Fry, bounce it Fry, and Acilio is a 2-card 8 because it's also the 2 pumps on Volzar.
3 pumps on Volzar.
Yeah, 3 pumps. Sorry, so it's a 2-card 9. It's so fun. It's like, I love the card. It's super beautiful.
Super good card.
Yeah.
So
that's right. So Fry Electromagnetic Somersault Fry, then play a 0 for 3 after throwing Volzar if you had a sigil out. That's crazy. That is so efficient. That's 3, 3, and then 6, right?
Even better if you have Flittering, and then you just get to do it again with another instant. But yeah, anyways, so I TLDR, look at your elemental cards. If you have, Thomas said 4 or 5. I think you can have 4.
They need to be good though. They need to be like the high value blues, like Cadaver Stilling Blue, or they need to be the good reds.
So I had a yellow and blue Tilling, and then I had 2 red Blossoming Decays, and that was my Decompose engine.
That's fine.
Like, it was serviceable. It did its job. If you have a Rootbound Carapace, I think you can drop your number by 1, but like, I think it's a little dicey. It depends on the number of other Earth cards you have. But it's look at your Decompose engine. You want to have at least 4 good Earth ones. If you don't, you're gonna have to kind of look at your hero pool and figure it out from there. If you have, man, I said 7 earlier, and I think that's the right number. It's either 6 or 7 red lightning cards. Like, you just need the good ones. You
do need enough blues. The matches I lost, I should have just any other blues in my deck. If I would have just had 1 or 2 more blues, I would have potentially won. Because I did fatigue. I think in Aurora, I think you want 9.
That sounds right. I was going to say 9 and 10.
So I was running 7, and I was just like, man, if I just had 1 or 2 more blues in my deck, I would be winning because I'd get my sword thrown more. And I lost a game against Verdant where she was at 4, and I missed 2 or 3 sword swings. And it went to a point where she was forced to kill me because I was going to fatigue her. So I had the tempo for a while if I just could have swung my sword a few more times. So I want to say 9. Your Earth decks, I think, really, really love seeing like 11 or 12, especially if you can get some of those really high value blue cards, like the one that swings for 6 if you have 4 more cards, or blue colors.
4 seasons. Yeah, 4 seasons.
4 seasons blue. Cadaverous Tilling blue.
Those are gas.
Even in Blossoming Decay blue is not terrible in Verdance because it could just be an inevitable kill condition, right?
Summer's Fall is a bomb.
Yep.
It doesn't look like a bomb. It is a bomb. The more you play with the card, the more I played against the card, the more that card's a bomb.
That's the one that blows up an aura, right? When you decompose?
It tucks it.
It puts an aura back, right?
Mm-hmm. And you can target yourself. So I, in one of my pools, I looped a sigil of Deadwood and just made 4 rune chants off of 1 sigil of Deadwood.
Ooh, that's good.
And we all kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah, it is. Because we were trying to figure out how we were going to kill each other because both of us were at like 15. And that's how you kill somebody.
It's the guy who made a bunch of extra rune chants.
Yeah.
All right. Any other closing remarks?
Look for synergies. Look for like little cute combos. Like cussing Deadwood Dirge is a very common one.
Especially with the chest.
Yeah, like if you have equipment pieces that work well with a specific card, that's another thing to be looking
like
for.
gloves hit the high notes is one.
Yeah,
that
gloves
Aurora
high notes
uses a lot.
Yeah, gloves high notes is awesome. But it's a synergy format. It's a weird format. I think the more you play it, the more fun it is. It's got a lot of depth to it, and yeah, I would just like look for synergies in your pool, and I would build around your synergies as opposed to what has my most good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep with it. Swing your weapon. It's one of the things I learned the hard way a lot of times. Swing your weapon a ton. As Florian, you might think this sucks. Like, I want to play this big attack out. Sometimes it's better. Play the aura.
Just go ahead and block
swing
2.
the weapon.
It only blocks 2. Swing
an arsenal. Like getting the extra arsenal when you have to then block with 3 cards, but you still have a play is way better in the pinch. Same thing with Aurora. Take the time to sit up. You're like, oh, I could spill my 4 cards. Swing the weapon. Get the setup turn. Pitch some threat later. Like, you got to feel out the flow of the game. Because I played a couple where I went all gas and it worked. But then I played a couple where I went all gas and my opponent had like crazy blocks and it just didn't work. Fizzled out. Damage didn't stack up right. So definitely swing the weapons. Red Arcane Polarity. You got to have at least one of it. Works well with Twinkle Toes to turn that on as well for you Aurora players that get the boots. So don't underestimate those. And a good mix of Runeblade cards in Aurora really does help with some kind of way of creating the rune chant damage to kind of create that leak. Because sometimes too much physical, all lightning, there's no damage leaking through if they just continuously block out the physical. So I think there's like a good mixture that you need to have between the rune chants and that. I actually think that you can play the Malefic in Aurora. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, Malefic's fine in both Runeblades. It's very good.
So I started to get a good feel. Verdance I played and I don't understand wizard cards, so I know Perennial Perennial Aether Bloom was like Andrew Lorenzo. He's trying to teach me how to. He's like this card's really good, and he's like explaining. I was like that makes sense. I was like, because you ping it just bottom decks it. You have a never ending deck. So
anyway, strong yield, swing sword for 4.
Yes,
I do think one reason to play Verdance is if you open Channel the Millennium Tree. If you open Channel the Millennium Tree, you can and should play Verdance because you can keep it around for 2 turns with that deck, and it will deal 9 arcane, and that just kills people.
What if you open that, but you also open the other one that said, I don't remember what it is. It's the one where like you have to have decomposed an earth card or something, and then it goes away. I think that one's a little less.
Earth's Embrace.
Yeah.
That card's a little harder to take advantage of.
That card was really annoying all weekend.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's good.
It's hard to use effectively, but it does say all those non-attack actions gain you a little 1 or 2 extra life, and especially in the mirror, that's a big deal.
That's right. Mirror. That's the one that gives you the embodiment of Earth every time that you've decomposed. It just automatically keeps doing it. But if you haven't done it, I had that in my full box. I should have played Verdance in the full box. See what I did? I didn't because I just don't like. I had Channel Millennium Tree. I just don't like Wizards. I just don't get the cards.
Wait, you had Channel Millennium Tree and didn't play Verdance?
I also had
full box. He probably had other crazy stuff.
I also had the Aurora specialization that pings every time you gain go again. And so
Dark Lightning.
That's the other card.
That's
the other card.
If you get that card, you might as well just play Aurora for the fun of it, because let me tell you, that card's go again source itself procs its card. So
no. Dark Lightning, ping for 1. Break Gloves, ping for 1. Break Chest, ping for 1.
Yes.
Swing Sword, ping for 1. That is the other card that, like, if you open that card, you figure out you only need like four Red Lightning cards, and you can play Aurora. It's so good.
Yeah, because you're going to deal like 7 arcane on one of your turns. Just you save your chest piece and your gloves for it, and when you draw that card, if you can go 3 attacks wide and still throw your sword, Arc Lightning's going to get you there. You'll probably win.
Yeah, but it's a
Feels
fun
good.
format.
Super fun format.
Yeah, play your pre-releases. The sealed's going to get a little floor-y just because he has the highest floor and he heals a lot. But then you're going to draft this format a ton, and you're going to be like, wow, I love this draft format. And then you're going to keep drafting this format, and you're going to say, wow, I love this format. And you're going to keep drafting it. It's so much fun.
Swing those swords in that flooring mirror. I'm not joking. It will go to fatigue. All right. Where can everybody find you, Mr. Justin?
Still J_EVS5. We did it.
I'm at Wet the System Fab, or Wet the System on Discord.
And I'm at Big Max Fab on Twitter and twitch.tv/BigMax. And then I'll be.
You punched your microphone again.
Too enthusiastic.
He's at twitch.tv/BigMax. You can also find him at Big Max Fab on Twitter. I got you, bruh.
Yep.
I'll take us out. Hopefully we'll get it fixed for the pommel.
Go for it.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you watched or listened to us. Until then, take care of yourself, and remember, we're all siblings in cardboard.
Stay tuned for some pack openings, and pummels don't come out of these judge packs, but if you get pummeled, you better discard your card. Okay? It happens. It's real. Stay tuned. Sync blows. All 3.
Later, everyone. Enjoy your pre-release. Good luck, everybody, on your polls.
See you.